Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to my If Looks Could Kill album review by Destroy Lonely. First, we're going to play a time-lapse of my reaction. Not going to play it all the way through because it's 26 songs long. But you'll be able to see, like, my face, my emotions, how I was vibing with each song. The commentary, I mean, it was... You'll see in the review what I think of this album. Alright, so you're not missing much on the reaction. You should be able to tell by my emotions how I feel. So yeah, that'll play first, and I'll see you in the review. Alright, so that's my reaction to the album. Let's start off with the review on what I think of, you know, the promotion. The album cover, I think, is really cool. Okay, the album cover is nice. In anticipation, I was really excited for this album. I love No Stylist. It was a great album last year. Even the single was incredible. I think it was one of the best songs of the entire year. I'd say like top 3 easily. And the entire album as a whole had a great sound to it, a great narrative in the terms of like the direction it was going. And I knew this one would be different, right? We had the single, If Looks Could Kill. Before we get to that, though, I'd like to say I saw the little movie that him and Ken Carson did. I thought it was cool. Definitely corny. The acting was not it. But, like, I mean, it's all right. You know, I like, you know, like Cardi and Uzi a lot. And I think if they did something like that, it's funny. But it wasn't, like, an insane... It's kind of corny in the sense, like, it's something Drake would probably do, right? But it was so cool promotion. Anyway, I mean, he had this single, If Looks Could Kill. It was a really anticipated, you know, snippet for a long time. It was all over TikTok, right? And then it got released, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it when it initially released. And I'm still not. I'm going to be honest. I like the guitar, but the mixing between his vocals and a lot of, like, the bass layering, it's not there for me. So I was a little scared going into this album. And let me just tell you, all right, let's get into how I feel about the album overall. The first 4 songs had me completely out of it. They all sound really the same. Going on to the rest of the album, the production's all over the place. It kind of stays with that If Looks Could Kill sound, right? With the guitar, you know, slow beat, but then it's like deep bass, and it's cool, right? But the production, it's hard to tell, like, okay, what kind of album are we getting? Obviously, he switched it up by song 5 with Raver. I gotta say, before I, like, get too down on this album, I really like the song By Pound. I think it's okay. It's definitely, like, I don't even know if it fits into this album at all, really. But I like it. And then, obviously, the track listing being 26 songs long, it is extremely bloated. I mean... It's a trend that hip-hop albums are going on these days that I'm not a big fan of, and it's just, you know, a product of the system, maybe, what he got into, whatever. Shouldn't have happened. This album was excruciating to get through, all right? I said it. I'm not the biggest fan. I think that in terms of his vocals, identical across every single track. All the vocal, his delivery, his tone, sounds like he doesn't give a shit about what he's doing, okay? It's just like, like over and over and over. I'm sorry. I just, there were a couple songs that I just couldn't get through. I'm going to keep it a buck, all right? The safety interlude was cool, right? Like that's like going back to the theme of the first 4 songs and how it's, you know, slower, you know, maybe you're driving late at night on a Harley, whatever, the wolf memes. They're cool, right? But in terms of listenability, I keep going through my head. You know, I listened to it last night. I'm listening to it today. I'm trying to see, like, okay, what is the right scenario for me to listen to this album, right? I know that, you know, doing a midnight release and reacting to it first then can be difficult because not every album is going to be, like, super hyped up, getting exactly what you expected, right? It's not going to be what the artist has delivered in the past, and this is definitely a change for Destroy Lonely. I certainly was hoping that this would break him into the mainstream in some sort of sense. I don't think it will. But I keep running through my, even with the Lil Yachty album, that was really different than what everyone was expecting. But I found a way to make it work. I went on a walk that day, and I was listening to the album, and I found the mood, the setting, the right mind frame for the album. I can't find this with this, and maybe that's just because it's shit. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, the safety interlude was kind of cool. It brings back that If Looks Could Kill vibe. But like I said, the production's kind of all over the place. The mixing is on par with Mansion Music by Trippie Redd, which that was a huge issue with that album. I mean, if you listen to it, if you watch my review, I had a big issue with the mixing on that. It's just his vocals sound like they're underneath the production. It sounds like he's underwater or some shit, and not in a cool artistic sense at all. It's just like, can I hear what you're saying, bro? Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I hate, rap or rage music. You can't tell what they're saying. Don't compare me with those people. That's not what I'm saying at all. It just sounds like he doesn't give a shit to enunciate what he's saying or to come up with really creative flows at all. I mean, there's songs on, like, No Stylist that you can, it's hard to make out what he's saying, but, I like it. I really like Veteran, Crystal Castles, Pass Around. Some great songs on that album. None of these are really like that. None of these, it sounds like he gave that much of a shit about as he did on that album. Or mixtape, whatever you want to call it, right? Money and Sex was cool with Ken Carson. That was really anticipated. I liked it. It was all right. Ken washed him. It sounded like Lone didn't give a shit. It sounded like he didn't give a shit. So I'm sorry, but this album, I mean, I'm not going to go track through track like I usually do with my reviews and say, oh, yeah, I like the production on this one. The flow at 1 minute and 30 seconds was pretty cool. There's nothing to really say. Like I said, just sounds a lot of right? It's just, I don't know, man. There's not much variety. I mean, in terms of his vocal delivery, the beats, like I said, kind of all over the place, hard to grasp, and a real overall theme of this album. By the Pound is one of the only songs that can kind of get something cool out of. Wagwan had decent production, but his vocals sounded like it did on every other song. Breezy Girls is kind of cool. Maybe a little bit of a standout, but not something I'd add to my playlist. So, yeah, I'm giving this album, like, maybe a good 3 or 4 out of 10 for, like, some tracks that were maybe listenable, but I'm not going to add to a playlist at all. And then my prediction on how much it's going to sell, I think it's going to sell, like, 20 to 30K first week. I don't see it going anywhere past that. This is a step back for Lone, and it's sad to see. All right, but let me know if you guys agree with any of my takes in the comments down below. Maybe I'm a hater. I mean, I like Opium. I consider myself to like Opium. All right, shoot me for not liking this album. Maybe it'll grow, right? There's a lot of albums where I'm like, oh, yeah, maybe I'm just, this song will grow on me as I see it in some insane TikTok edit. It has to be forced into my brain, and then, I see it in a different light, and now this song's cool. Can't see that with many of the songs on this album, all right? And I'm sorry to say. I'll see you on the next video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.